Hey guys, Iron Wolf here. It's been a while since I've had a video up on my channel. I really apologize for that. Been very busy. I've got things in my real life going on. School, work, and then of course I got things going on with Hyrule Conquest. I've been very busy with, which is what I'm going to be talking about today, actually. So for those of you that don't know, version 0.3.5 of Hyrule Conquest is up on ModDB right now. It is a balance patch mostly and bug fixes. But the balance patch affects a lot of things, and I'll be talking about those today. I've been working with this working on this a lot with Exodarian and Nephalim as well. So basically, there are a couple things in the balance patch that are going to really change the meta of the game, in my opinion. One of those being the reduced training time for all units. Pretty much every unit in the game is going to be trained a lot faster now. So that's going to be, encouraging players to, play a little bit faster. What else? Oh yeah, so the armor mechanic. I kind of want to talk about the armor mechanic a little bit. So the way that armor works and the armor to HP ratio has been completely overhauled in the game. So what this means is before, let's say an armor rating of 6. It gave you, I'm going to assume around like 45% armor, something like that. So it was very there wasn't really much of a correlation between the numbers and the percentage. So for example, a unit like a glaive grunt had like an armor rating of 5, I think, and it had like let's say it had like a pierce, hack, and crush rating of 5. What this means is that it got 40% damage resistance to all 3 of those attacks, or around that. I think specifically 5 armor during that patch was like 43%. So now armor has been changed to be where it is the armor value completely correlates to the percentage of the armor. So now a 5% or an armor rating of 5 would equal 5% armor. Also, where the amount of armor that all units have pretty much has been reduced because of that. So for example, I'll pull up the patch notes here. I got a whole list of them. Like I was talking about with the glaive grunt. Before they had, I want to say like 43% armor. Now they only have 5% hack, 5% pierce, 20% crush. So that is a big change. Now you may think like, wait, if everyone's armor is getting reduced, isn't everyone just gonna be like so squishy? Well, the way that Exodarian came up with to balance around that was to give everyone a lot more HP, and that's been changed, of course. All the units pretty much have increased HP. Unit or buildings as well have all received double HP across the board. There's no like I'm not just being general when I say double. I mean every unit or every building has gotten their previous HP doubled because of the way that this new like damage to armor and whatnot ratio has been like worked out. Also, damage has mostly been upped because of that. But I will go into specific details about that later. So the first faction I'm going to cover is, of course, the Highlands. You see here, let me pull up the patch notes. So you see here, got this nice little changelog written by yours truly. You can actually check it out. It's in the changelog for all the factions, or in the download files with 0.3.5, which I will leave a link to in the description, so you guys can download that. So we'll start from the bottom, work our way down. General notes: all technologies fixed and working now. Pretty much every tech in the game is working now. About 95 to 99% of all the technologies and researchable things that were in the game before work now. A lot of them did not work before, but pretty much all of them work now. There's only like 2 or 3 that don't work across the entire game. But yeah, with the Highlands, all their technologies fixed and working. Also, the attack animations for King Kazak, Link, and their cavalry units have all been fixed. So no more Kazak whacking people with his lance, and no more Link hitting people with his shield instead of using his sword. So, oops, this is supposed to be, whoops, this is supposed to be 65, alright. So here is the Hylian Titan, Phi, and their heroes. So hero costs have pretty much all been increased, but that is also because their HP has been drastically increased. So for example, Phi, her hit points is now 7,000. Although I will say that Phi and pretty much all the Titans went significantly down in price, so this may lead to Titans actually being competitively viable, which would be awesome. So Fi's cost has been changed to 255 or 655 food, 250 metal, and 250 rupees. The 250 metal and 250 rupees is kind of universal across the board this patch, but the 655 food, like the amount of food that each Titan's cost is kind of, it varies from Titan to Titan because not all the Titans have the same values and whatnot. And her damage has been increased as well. You see 80 hacked, 80 pierce, attack rate changed, armor changed pretty much as well. Going on to the heroes have pretty much been completely changed as far as their armor values, their damage, their rates, their costs and hit points and all that. You see here Zelda, 360 food, 50 metal, 100 rupees, and 2000 HP. 2000 HP is kind of like the standard for, like, kind of like the average hero HP with this version. So if a character has like an HP of 2000 right now, or a hero has an HP of 2000, it's like an average HP. And you see here her armor has been significantly reduced, but all heroes do have magic armor universally across the board, which is good because magic armor or lack of magic armor was a very big issue last patch. You see here Link has an armor, or he has an HP of 2500, and this is really good. This is really above average. Link is going to be a very focused hero this patch. He also has a lot of armor as well, which is really good. He will definitely be a strong unit. Zelda's more of a support unit this patch. Kazak, you see here, you see his price, you see his HP change, also 2500. His armor, way better than Link, although his damage has been changed a little bit, so no more one-shotting worker units. Raru has magic damage added, 7 light, that was not in the game before. He has all this armor right here, you see, not bad armor, but not amazing. And then he has 1900 HP, which is a little below average, but that makes sense. He's not really a fighter; he's more of a sage type, or like a magic user, support type character. You see here some of their unique units: Triforce Vanguard. Some of their stats right here. This unit didn't get changed too much outside of increased magic damage. Light armor as well, not really changed too much. Mostly just balancing their stats around the new universal formula. Champion Knights as well, and Golden Clyde Elites as well. Not really any of the unique units got like buffed or nerfed. They mostly got changed to just be balanced to where they were with this new version. Citizen, hit points increased to 75. This is universal across the board. All worker units now have 75 HP, so this is good. No more getting one-shotted by Riju and Kazak, so that's very good. Kingdom Infantry, Crossbowmen. Infantry didn't get changed too much. Crossbowmen did get changed a good bit, I want to say, because their attack rate got significantly reduced, but the prepare time got their attack rate got increased, but their prepare time got significantly reduced, which is good. So now this unit's more of a kiting unit, which is it's interesting. The meta before was heavily focused on archers in the mid to early game and siege units in the late game, and pretty much all range units have been given minimum ranges now. So I feel like with this new version, cavalry are going to become very prevalent because they can really rush down these archers and these siege units and not let them be able to get a shot in. So I definitely feel like cavalry are going to become very prevalent in the new meta. Castle Guard, not changed too much. Flail Knight likewise. Ironclad, his armor got changed a little bit. And like when I say changed, I mean buffed. But besides that, he's pretty much the same that he was. Kingdom Cavalry, of course, the animation got changed. But besides that, pretty much the same. Chevaliers, also the same. Squires, or I'm not Squires, Scout. Pretty much all Scout units have been buffed. They can hold their own a little bit better, but they're still not, combat units by any means. So, pretty much all these civilian soldiers right here are pretty much the same. Lookouts are the same. Let's see what else. Pretty much most of these units are the same. Oh yeah, Siege. I need to talk about Siege. So, the repeater crossbow added minimum range. The damage was changed a little bit. The cost was changed, of course, and the splash damage was reduced a little bit. But the trebuchet, that's the one I really want to talk about. So the splash damage was removed on the trebuchet. This is very big for nerfing this unit. Also, the pack unpack time has changed to 7 seconds, but giving it a minimum range and taking away the splash damage is a really big nerf to this unit. Because not only can it get rushed down very easily, but it can't deal with massive swarms of units, so it has to pick them off one at a time. And this unit's supposed to be more of an anti-building unit anyway, so that makes sense. But this is a significant nerf to this unit. The Deacon did not change as well, other than just the the basic stats. So that's it for the Highlands. Let me talk about the Gerudo next. Yeah, let me save that. Alright, so the Gerudo. The Gerudo have gotten significantly buffed, in my opinion. All their technologies are fixed and working, and the animations for these units have been changed as well, which is kind of the same thing with the Hylians. Twinrova, a lot of hit points, 6,500, not quite as much as Phi, but still, a good bit. Her cost has been changed a lot as well. Ganon, very strong unit now, 2,400 HP, kind of low cost compared to other heroes, but it's not the worst. Nibiru, average HP, her stats are pretty much the same. Oh yeah, Ganon has a really good armor as well compared to before. Also, the attack rate was changed pretty much across the board for most units. A lot of units attack a lot faster than they did during the last patch. Urbosa might be one of, if not the strongest hero unit in the game now. She has 2,500 HP, her stats are very good, her attack rate is very, very fast, and her armor is really good compared to most heroes. Riju has been significantly nerfed compared to what she was before, but she has gotten some good things. Her hit points are 1,700 right now. This is probably the lowest hit points of any hero in the game right now. Her armor is kind of low, although she was given reduced arrow spread, which means increased accuracy, so that's really good for her. But yeah, her damage has been reduced a lot, although she was added, she was given spirit damage, which is really good. Dust Sentinel, that unit pretty much stayed the same, although they did receive similar changes that Riju did. Reduced arrow spread, so they're more accurate now, and they were given some spirit damage, so they can do a little bit more magic damage, and it's a good damage buff to that unit. Arbiters pretty much remain the same, just bounce around the new system. Golden Gladiators likewise, and Serpent Slayers, their cost has been significantly reduced, although they do still require tier 3, so that is a little unfortunate, but they still kept their 100% magic resistance, so this is definitely the anti-magic unit. Some of the gather rates for the Gerudo units have changed as well, so the Artisan here. Of course, hit points increased to 75, that's universal across all worker units, but their food gather rate for meat, specifically, has been increased to 1. This is very good, and a gather rate of 1 is very, 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 very strong. So they will be able to gather food a lot faster, which is good, because the Gerudo really, really just struggled with gathering food. The Trailblazer, probably the best scout unit in the game now. Although the minimum range does hurt, they do a lot more damage than they did before, so that's really good. The Glaive Grunt pretty much stays the same except balanced around the new system, although their bonus versus cavalry, and this is kind of the case with all spearmen across the board, was reduced from times 3 damage to times 2. So spearmen in the last version, most spearmen in the last version, only did they did a whopping times 3 damage to cavalry, and that was big. They just melted straight through cavalry, but now it's been reduced to times 2, so that's a lot better. Also, they gather meat at an increased rate of 0.7, which is really good. Marauder as well, 0.7 meat gather rate, which is very good, and their stats are, they're pretty good. It's a good unit now. There's definitely an incentive to buy this unit as opposed to the Glaive Grunt. Catapult, this unit's a lot better. The splash damage wasn't really changed. The cost was changed a lot. The damage was changed a little bit, but the minimum range of 45 to 110 meters is what really hurts this unit. Although this unit was not busted before, but siege across the board was pretty much universally nerfed. Rudadorf, nothing much. Master Thief, nothing much. Dune Walker, no. Iron Knuckle, this unit got buffed a lot. Significantly cheaper, a lot more health, a lot more armor. Splash damage was added to this unit, so that's really good. Hopefully that can help in the DPS department. The attack rate was changed a little bit, but for the most part, this unit just became a lot tankier. Their hit points went from 500 to 900, which is a lot. And they have a lot of armor compared to most units in this new version. Spoiler, nothing much. Just showing our captain. Ice Archer, this unit changed a good bit. Projectile speed was doubled, so you can actually hit things with this unit now, which is really good. Also, their prepare time was reduced a lot. So this unit is actually one of the stronger archer units, in my opinion, in the game right now. So that's really good. Sandsteel Plower, nothing much. Wind Witches, just the cost was really what would change the most about them. Danon, nothing much. Sand Snipers, not really. I think that's all the Gerudo units that really got their changes. When I say that a unit didn't really get changed, every unit got changed, but when I say they didn't really get changed, there's just nothing notable to note about them. If you want to know the specifics about that unit, you can go read the patch notes. They should be linked in the patch file, or the files of the new patch or whatever. You can go read them there, but for the most part, that unit didn't really get anything outstanding. Let's talk about the Gorons. So this unit got buffed a lot. Gladiator Ring moved from tier 3 to tier 2, so now you can get some of those units from the Gladiator Ring a little bit earlier. All their technologies are working. Bigoron, I think... Oh, wait, no. He has the second most. Second most HP of any Titan right now. His splash damage is 100 crush now, and his regular damage is 200 crush. So this is a good unit. Very good unit. Very tanky as well. Let me think. Most of the Goron units didn't really change too much. Daronia has 2,400 HP, Daruk has 2,100, Dengoro has 2,600, and Medigoron has 2,200. I'm pretty sure Dengoro has the most health of any hero unit right now, which makes sense. I mean, he's supposed to be like this big, burly, tanky Goron that just smashes things. But yeah, most of the Goron heroes have above average HP, which is really good. Their armor is pretty average, except for Dangoro, he's about above average armor. Let's see, their unique units. I'm trying to think of what notable changed here. Tribal monks, of course, like all spearmen, their damage bonus is ×2 now against cavalry instead of ×3. Besides that, most of these units were just balanced around the new system. Oh yeah, so the Goron civilian units and the minor got a lot of resource gathering changes because this unit, or this faction just in general, really struggles economically. So pretty much all their gather rates were increased for mining. What I mean by that is, so the miner here, let's look at that. Gather rate for material changed to specifically stone because they can't gather wood to 0.9. That's a very, very good gather rate. That's very, very strong. And for the rupees and metal, it got increased to 0.55. That's also very good compared to most factions that gather for gathering rupees and metal. The Guardian, nothing really changed outside of the gather rates. It has a material gather rate of 0.6 and a rupee and metal one of 0.25. That's a good buff from what it was before. But before, I think the metal and rupee gather rate for Guardians and Rock Tossers was 0.1. So this is quite a significant buff. And then the Rock Tosser has the same as the Guardian, 0.6 for materials and 0.25 for metal and rupees. Beastmaster, of course, bonus against cavalry change. Besides that, the units pretty much remains very similar. Battle Brother as well, Drummer as well, Ruby Guard as well. Oh yeah, Fire Warrior. This unit got buffed a lot. The splash damage got increased, the armor got increased, the base damage got increased as well, and the cost got reduced, and his HP got increased as well. This unit is very, very strong now. It's kind of like the borderline between a mid-tier and an elite unit, in my opinion. Or not Ruby Guard, what am I saying? Fire Warrior. I'm crazy. But yeah, so this unit, yeah, it's a lot better now. Way, way, way better. Definitely want to see this unit played a lot more. Patriarch, not really changed. Salamander, not changed too much. Salamander Wagon, nothing really changed except for any range units that are stationed within the Salamander Wagon. And this is kind of the case with most garrisonable cavalry units like this and the Kokiri Chariot and whatnot. It removes the minimum range of all the units garrisoned inside it. So let's say there's a unit in there that usually has a minimum range of 15. If they're in the Salamander Wagon, they have a minimum range of 0, so they can shoot things at point blank. So that's pretty good. Salamander Warbeast, this unit got buffed a lot. Increased fire damage, it does 18 now, and 9 splash, so there's a lot of magic damage right there. Armor is kind of similar, and then its cost got reduced a little bit, but its HP is now 670, which is pretty good. Sumo pretty much remains the same, Ram remains the same. Goron Giant, this unit got buffed a lot. His hit points have been changed to 550. His projectile range is 15 to 90 meters, and his projectile speed is increased. So the rock that he throws, it's a lot faster now, which is really good. His attack rate is 2.2. This isn't a bad attack rate, although for what he does, this is very good with the projectile speed and whatnot. He has no more direct target damage anymore, actually. All his damage comes from splash. So his splash damage is changed to 35 crush, so that's pretty good. And his armor is kind of the same as what it was before. Bomb thrower, this unit, still pretty good. Minimum range kind of bodied this unit a little bit, but he's still strong because he can kite. He's one of the few Goron ranged units that can kind of reliably kite. He's a little bit faster than most of them, so that's pretty good. He pretty much only does splash damage as well, no direct damage, just all 15 fire damage. Keg thrower, oh boy, this unit. So, like I mentioned, siege across the board has just pretty much universally been nerfed. Although this unit in particular has been nerfed a lot. The minimum range of 35 meters to 100 meters kind of bodied this unit really hard because this is a very slow unit. So if you can get in on this unit, it pretty much can't do anything. The unpack time was changed to 5. The damage was changed to 25 crush, and the splash damage is 150 fire. This is a tad different from what it was before. It's still very strong, but before, keg throwers could just blast things at point blank range, and that was really dumb and you couldn't kill them. But now if you rush them down, like sure they still do a lot of damage, but if you can rush them down, they're not very strong, which kind of follows along what I was saying earlier about how I feel like cavalry will be a lot more prevalent in the game now, which is really good because I like cavalry. What's next? Alright, Zora. So the Zora. Pretty much all their technologies are fixed and working now, so that's pretty good. Jabu Jabu has 5,000 HP, good bit of armor, not bad. Ruto, she's been changed a little bit. She has no more direct damage, it's all just splash. As you see here, 24 water. She has above average hit points with 2,200. King Zora, above average HP, 2,300. But besides that, nothing really too notable to change about him, mostly just balanced around the new system. Talora, all her auras and whatnot are working now. None of her abilities were working in the last version for some reason, but they do now. And she was given some light damage, so that's really good. She's definitely a strong hero now that her abilities actually work. So that's pretty good. Zaylene, he has below average HP with 900 or 1900. Nothing really notable to note here, other than that his healing factor was changed a little bit. It's 3, so that's pretty good. Oh yeah, and all his auras and whatnot are working now, which makes him actually usable. Let's see here. Zora, unique units, nothing really to note here. Nothing to note with these units. Let's see here. Oh yeah, pretty much all the mages got nerfed, because that's of course what the Zora were broken with before. Spark mages, kind of similar. Sapphire Wardens, splash damage got reduced a lot. Their main damage got reduced a lot as well. They only do 3 fire, 3 water, and their splash does 5 fire, 5 water, so that's a big nerf. Their armor isn't that strong either. Floodmasters still do a lot of damage, but not quite as much. They do 7 direct water damage, and then 7 splash water damage. But keep in mind, all these mage units have minimum ranges now, so you can rush them down very easily. Mage Cannon, still, probably, in my opinion, the least changed of all the siege units. Still an extremely strong unit, although I think it has the worst minimum range of all the siege units right now. It has a minimum range of 45 meters, which is not that good. But it still does dumb amounts of damage, so it's still good in that department. Hydrophants, nothing really changed here. Radiator, just of course the cavalry bonus changed because it's Spearman. Blade Master, the splash damage was added, and it does 3 hack and 2 pierce. That's pretty good. Help that unit out in the DPS department, because you never really see Zora soldier units from like the barracks or whatever. I forget what it's called. Not the dormitory. What am I thinking? I don't remember what it's called. It'll come back to me later. So yeah, these units hopefully are going to become more prevalent now. Let's see. The Morphite units, the Kayamaran Master, pretty much remains the same. Kayamaran, the cost was reduced a little bit. It's actually a pretty good unit. I feel like this unit will be used a lot more in the future, just Morphite units in general. And then the Morphite itself is probably one of their more elite units. It does a good bit of damage, 7 crush, 15 water, and 9 splash damage. It has some good armor as well, like 70 pierce you see here and 50 crush. Excuse me. Its cost has been reduced a lot as well, so it's a lot cheaper, but it's still one of their more expensive units. Domain Supreme, Nothing really too notable to point out here. And then the healer, nothing really to point out there as well. Let's start with the Goma. This faction has gotten some changes. I will say that. So the Goma have a new building called the Hive Barriers, and this is like a wall basically. So that's pretty good. Now they have walls. For any of you guys that are fans of walls. So now they have the Goma Hive Core and the Might Mounts. They now have projectile animation, so that's pretty good. The Matriarch melee attack animation was now fixed, and of course, most of their technologies are fixed and working now. Ayamanus has the most HP of any Titan right now with 9k. That's really good. I think he's also the most expensive Titan too. He does a lot of damage. He does 20 hack, 110 pierce, and 70 crush, and he has splash damage of 70 hack. It's pretty good. Let's see what else. Sokaris, one of the more stronger hero units in the game right now. I think. Okay, so she actually does have more HP than Dangoro. Okay, I'm wrong about Dangoro having the most. She has 2,700. That's really good. I definitely think Sokaris is one of the stronger like individual hero units in the game right now, along with Urbosa and a few others. Agatha, she has below average HP with 1900. Besides that, she hasn't really changed too much. Mido, nothing really to note here. Stealth isn't in the game, so some of his abilities haven't been fixed yet. Unfortunately, we probably won't see this unit too much anymore. Or just not anymore, just like at all. It does have slightly above average HP though with 2100. Matriarch, pretty much the same, although 2300 HP is not bad at all. Unique units. Okay, the Praetorian, it's a pretty good unit now. Lots of armor, lots of damage, 17 hack, 6 crush. That's pretty good. 700 HP. That's really strong for what you pay for it. Trapdoor Goma. Nothing really too much to note here. This unit's still kind of the same. Shroud Walker as well. Acid Sprayer also pretty much stays the same. Hive Keeper. Their hit points were increased and their cost was reduced. So that's pretty good. The Goma Queen has been nerfed. She is not a kind of like before. The Goma Queen was a very strong unit in its own, very tanky, did great damage too. Now it's been reduced a little bit. It can still hold its own and defend itself from like say levers or something, or maybe like a scout. But yeah, this unit definitely does not need to be a combat unit after this version. So that's a good change. All the larvae have pretty much gotten reduced costs and stuff. Pretty much all the Goma units have actually gotten reduced costs, but they pretty much do the same damage and whatnot, same gather rates. Caretaker. Now this unit was a big problem in version 0.3, for those of you that don't know. It did, I believe, 12 shadow damage and 12 pierce damage, or something like that. Now, all it does is 8 shadow damage. Took away all the pierce and a good chunk of the shadow damage. So, it still does good damage, but it has been significantly toned down. Its HP has been increased a little bit to 190, although its armor is not that good at all. So if you get in on it just like before, you can still crush it pretty easily. Janitor, nothing much. Pincer Goma, Spinal Goma, nothing much. Although Spinal Gomas did have a ×2 damage bonus against Cavalry, changed to from the ×3 or whatever. Shield Goma, a lot better of a defensive unit now. Actually has really strong armor and has 280 HP. The damage it does, it's not that bad either. It does 10 crush, so it's okay. Goma Longlegs, this unit's really good now. A lot cheaper, only 50 food and 15 metal. Hit points have been increased to 340. Does good damage now, it has a good attack rate, and its armor isn't the worst. Let's see what else. Tank Goma, this unit has a lot of HP now. Has 800, it's pretty good. Its armor is okay, and its damage and whatnot has kind of stayed similar, although it's kind of just balanced around the new version. Armagoma, this unit's pretty good, has minimum range, so you can't get in on it, but the splash damage has been changed to 6 fire, and the direct damage has been changed to 25 fire, so that's pretty good. Hive Amplifier, nothing much to note there, and the Goma Queen, nothing much, I'm sorry, Goma Princess, nothing else really to note there. So on to the Kokiri. This faction was a problem last patch, that is definitely for sure. They have a lot of changes. A lot of changes. So let's talk about these. So destroy Kokiri buildings, no longer spawn a Roman Civ Center on death. This is pretty good. This was kind of just an annoyance from the last patch. This is kind of an aesthetic thing, I guess. All Kokiri Grove upgrades after the first upgrade were given a material cost. This is a huge economic nerf to the Kokiri. What this means is when you build a grove, the first upgrade you get out of the grove is free, just like before. So let's say I build a market grove. I want to build a fairgrounds. Alright, it's free. Same thing. I just pay the cost for building the market grove, and then when it's done, I just build the fairgrounds for free. If I want to get a community homes, it's going to cost materials. I think around like 200 materials. And that's the case with all upgrades after the first one. So that's a big economic setback for the Kokiri. It's a really big one, actually. It's really good, though. It's a really good way to fix them, because their economy was stupid dumb before. And this is really good, because now you're not getting 3 buildings for the cost of 1 building, which is, that's pretty good. Elk Glade and Fairy Seclude moved from Tier 1 to Tier 2. You can no longer build these upgrades during those tiers. The reason for that being mainly was to deal with the Deku Tree. So now Deku Trees, as a result of this, cannot be built till Tier 2. So that's pretty good. No Tier 1 Deku Trees. That was such a problem. I don't even want to get started. One of the most broken things I've seen in my years of playing RTSs. But it's been addressed, and now it's been moved back to Tier 2, so that's pretty good. Fairgrounds now enable trading. Before, the Kokiri could not trade. They had no market that they could trade with at all. But now the Fairgrounds do allow that, so that's pretty good for them. And then, of course, all their technologies and whatnot are working. The Deku Tree, one of the stronger, whatchamacallem, I completely just lost my train of thought. Titan. One of the stronger Titan units in the game, has 8,500 HP. It's really good. Really good armor. 50 hack, 75 pierce, 60 crush, and 20 magic. That's really good. Splash damage has been changed to 50, and direct damage has been changed to 265. Those are some good changes. They're not bad. Saria. Okay, so this hero. The reason this character was broken last patch was because of a mathematical error. So the way that it was put in her aura or her ability that changes the attack rates of range units, the way that was put in before was the complete opposite of what it was intended to be. So instead of giving 25 times 25 ranged attack speed or whatever, it gave times 75 attack speed to range units. That was very, 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 very dumb, and it made slingers unbelievably broken. We all know this, though. So it has been changed. It no longer does 75, of course, but it actually is not going. It has not gone back to what it's intentionally supposed to be with 25. It's actually been changed down to 15, extra 15% to range attack speed, which is pretty good. It's still good, but that's a really big nerf to Saria. Also, her ranged attack, she was given some force damage, so that's pretty good. Magic damage is always nice to have. Also, her health is below average with 1900. Fado, nothing really to note here. His songs kind of remain the same. His hit points are below average though with 1900. Meroria, she has an above average HP of 2200. But besides that, she's pretty much the same. Her ability to survive after death has not been fixed yet, unfortunately. Maybe in the next version. Gully, above average HP. Nothing else to really note there though. Unique units, Deku Trees. This unit has been gutted into the ground. Hit points are now 1100. Armor has been changed to 40, 65, and 20. Hack, Pierce, and Crush, respectively. Its damage has been changed to 29 direct crush damage and 12 splash crush damage, and its attack rate is 2.3. This unit is nowhere near as tanky as it was before. It's definitely one of the tankier Kokiri units, but it is nowhere near as tanky as it was before. The Wolfos, this unit pretty much remains the same. Fiddler as well, and the Stag Chariot. Like with the Salamander Wagon, the only thing notable to point out here is it removes the minimum range of garrison units, which is that's pretty good. It's not bad at all. Kokiri Labor, of course, changed HP. Miniman, not much changed. Kokiri Explorer, the same. Hunting Fox, this unit does have the ability to gather meat now. It has a meat gather rate of 1, which is extremely good. So now, it can gather from cookos or wildlife very, 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 very effectively now. So it's a very strong gathering unit for that purpose. Slingshotter, the damage on this unit was reduced a little bit. It does 13 crush now. But besides that, it pretty much remains the same, or just balanced around this new version. Let's see. Mudmen units kind of the same. Grove Washer the same. Mantlets very similar. Battering Ram the same. It is notable to point out, though, that the Kokiri have access to Tier 1 siege units via the battering ram, which is pretty interesting. Emerald Archer, this unit has been buffed, actually. They have increased damage and increased armor. They're also very fast, so they're very good for kiting, even though they have this minimum range. So with this new version, I actually think Emerald Archers, because of the minimum range, are significantly better than most other Archer units because of how fast they are. So we'll definitely see this unit a lot more. Enchantress, the big thing to note here was the minimum range, and they no longer cost rupees. They cost 75 food and 10 metal. So this is really good. Makes it a lot more accessible. Doe Trotter and Buck Rider, nothing really to note there. Bowler Shot, extremely reduced in its cost, but besides that, just minimum range. You know, general siege weapon stuff. The Kokiri Chief, also pretty much the same. HP increased, armor is about it's average armor. But besides that, that's really all there is to the Kokiri. So there are a few things though I do want to talk about now that I've covered all the factions with the AI. There have been a couple AI changes which were not in the changelog made by Exodarian, and I will highlight those real quick. So first of all, the AI will now make trade routes when applicable and has improved trade hub creation. What this means is the AI will create markets and trade actively now with itself, so that might make it a little more effective. Let's see what else. The AI functionality for summoner units like the Goma Queen and the Zora Kyra Master. It's been given like specific values and whatnot, so that make that more effective. AI will now use the resources more frequently with different priorities. So what this means is the AI will basically use its resources a little bit smarter, so it'll build better units. Let's see what else. AI expansion rate changed to fit the new changes to expansion reduction. What else? AI tech up rate increased to improve their behavior in the mid to late game. What this means is as you approach the mid to late game, the AI will become less and less brain dead and just start to, you know, use these techs a lot better and whatnot. What else? Numerous changes for changes and fixes to the Goma AI, which is really good because the Goma AI was very buggy last time. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, all the tower and castles. All of their ranges, and the civic centers as well, have increased range. So now no more caretakers outranging civic centers. So that's good. That's a really good change. Let's see. I already mentioned the ×2 HP. Let's see. I think that's really everything. I hope this was really informative to you guys, and I hope it helps you guys out as you go into this new patch and start messing around with it and experimenting with the meta and whatnot. I'm definitely looking forward to getting into it a lot and making some videos about my findings, and I would love to see what you guys find. So, like always, be sure to like and subscribe to this video. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm really sorry I haven't been able to upload videos in forever. The War of Twilight is pretty much over. I just have to get these replays up. So I will try to get those up as soon as possible. But I really appreciate you guys hanging in there and supporting me, even though I've been gone for a little while. I really means a lot to me. But until then, just be sure to like and subscribe, and I hope this helps you guys out. Have a good one.